Donald Trump and his impact on politics, but also on the prophetic expectations of certain religious groups. Since entering politics, Trump has sparked controversy, admiration, and theories linking him to prophecies and biblical expectations. In this video we'll explore how some biblical interpretations and certain religious sectors view him as a figure fulfilling prophetic events and whether his political influence might indeed have a connection to the Bible. We'll focus on understanding what these biblical expectations are, the role some attribute to Trump within them, and the implications of this type of thinking on politics and religion. Remember, this analysis does not seek to assert any particular stance but to give you an objective look at how some groups interpret current events and how certain figures like Trump are seen as symbolic or prophetic figures. 1. The phenomenon of Donald Trump in politics. First, let's understand who Donald Trump is and what his presence has meant in global politics. Trump is an American businessman, celebrity, and politician who became President of the United States in 2016 with a platform that many considered revolutionary. From the start, his unique, direct, and often controversial style caught the attention of the media and millions of people worldwide. But beyond his political and media impact, Trump has generated expectations among certain religious groups who view him as someone who could play a role in fulfilling biblical prophecies. This has led to interpretations and ideas that Trump, as an unexpected figure in power, might be fulfilling a kind of divine mission or at the very least a role in events described in the Bible. 2. Biblical expectations and modern politics. To understand why some people link Trump to biblical prophecies, we need to understand a bit about what biblical expectation means. This term refers to the belief that certain current events were already predicted in the Bible and are part of a divine plan. The Bible, especially in the books of Daniel and Revelation, contains passages that many believe describe future events, and therefore, some religious groups try to find connections between these texts and current happenings. For centuries, people and movements have tried to interpret these texts to predict the course of history and recognize important figures within them. For some, Trump fits into this category, as they see him as a figure who could be connected to some of these prophecies. This idea is based on interpreting certain passages of the Bible and the belief that some political figures have a predestined role in fulfilling end-time events. 3. Trump as a modern Cyrus figure. One of the most prominent ideas among those who view Trump as a prophetic figure is to compare him with King Cyrus, an important character in the Bible. According to the Old Testament, Cyrus was the king of Persia who liberated the Jewish people from slavery in Babylon, allowing them to return to their land and rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Though Cyrus was not Jewish nor a believer in the God of Israel, he was used by God to fulfill his purpose. Some religious leaders and figures within Christianity have called Trump a modern Cyrus, arguing that, like Cyrus, he could be fulfilling a mission without necessarily being aware of it. In 2017, when Trump officially recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, some saw this as a prophetic sign, as it was a significant step impacting the region and the world. For those who support this comparison, Trump would be a tool in God's hands, used for specific purposes, even if he himself is not a religious leader. 4. Prophecies about end times and political figures. The idea that current political figures fulfill prophecies about the end times is common in certain religious sectors. Some believe that influential leaders could be playing a role in what's known as the end times or last days. According to the book of Revelation, the last days will be marked by conflicts, chaos, and the rise of powerful characters who will trigger significant events. Although the Bible does not specifically mention current names or places, some look for patterns or details in political leaders to make these connections. In this context, some people interpret Trump's presence in power as a sign that we are approaching the fulfillment of these final events. These sectors believe that Trump might be a figure who, through his unconventional style and impact on global politics, is acting as a precursor to major changes. 5. The controversy around Trump as a chosen leader. Not all Christians see Trump as a prophetic figure or a chosen one. In fact, this interpretation is widely debated. While some groups consider him part of the divine plan, others see this view as an exaggeration or even a manipulation of faith for political ends. The debate between those who support this idea and those who reject it has created divisions among believers and religious leaders, as interpreting current events through a prophetic lens can be both controversial and subjective. This kind of interpretation raises important questions. To what extent should current events be seen as signs of a divine plan? And is it right to link specific political leaders with biblical expectations? For some, attributing a prophetic role to Trump can distract from the fundamental teachings of the Bible. However, for others, interpreting the signs of the times is a way to stay vigilant and prepared. 6. Prophetic expectations regarding Trump's re-election and return. With Trump's departure from the White House in 2021, many of his followers and those who believed in his divine mission were surprised. However, the fact that Trump has attempted to regain power and has maintained his political influence is seen by some as a continuation of his mission in politics. From this, theories have emerged suggesting that Trump still has a prophetic role to play and could return to the presidency, whether in future elections or in some unexpected way. Some believe that this return would fulfill biblical expectations of restoration or a new beginning. This interpretation is driven by his large number of supporters and his ability to remain an influential figure, reinforcing the idea that he has an important role ahead. 7. Trump's relationship with Israel. Another reason why some groups view Trump as a prophetic figure is his relationship with Israel. During his presidency, Trump made decisions that greatly impacted the state of Israel, such as recognizing Jerusalem as its capital and promoting peace agreements in the region. These actions for some reflect an alignment with biblical interests in the sense that Israel is considered a key place in prophecies about the end times. Many believe that any leader who favors and strengthens Israel is acting in line with the biblical plan, and this has led certain religious groups to see Trump as someone who consciously or unconsciously is following a prophetic path. Although his decisions were political in a religious context, they have been interpreted as signs that his role in history is significant for fulfilling biblical expectations. 8. Criticism and risks of these interpretations. Like any prophetic theory, the ideas that Trump is a biblical figure have received much criticism. Firstly, because prophetic interpretations are highly subjective and can vary greatly among different groups and beliefs. Moreover, some consider these ideas dangerous, as linking current political events with prophecies can lead to confusion and even justify actions and behaviors that are not always beneficial for society. Another important criticism is that this type of interpretation could manipulate people's faith to achieve political goals. Some argue that relating Trump or any other leader to biblical expectations distracts believers from the fundamental teachings of their religions and causes them to focus excessively on the political realm. 9. What does the divine plan really mean for believers? For many believers, the idea of a divine plan does not necessarily mean looking for specific figures among current leaders, but rather living according to principles of love, justice, and peace, which are fundamental values in the Bible. The temptation to view every political leader as a chosen one or predestined can lead to a misunderstanding of these values. Thus, although some see Trump as a figure fulfilling biblical expectations, others remind us that the purpose of biblical prophecies is to inspire people to be better and to live in harmony. According to many traditions, biblical teachings call us to compassion, kindness, and living among each other with respect and justice. 10. Should we see current leaders as prophetic figures? So, we arrive at a crucial question: is it really possible that modern political figures are fulfilling biblical prophecies? For some people, this is a matter of faith, and they believe that God can use any person or event to fulfill his purpose. However, for others, interpreting the Bible in this way can be risky, as it may lead us to see the world from a perspective of constant fear or expectation of chaos and destruction, instead of focusing on love, peace, and the common good. For those who believe we are in the last days, the figure of Trump, and any current political leader, may have a special role in humanity's story. But it's also important to remember that most biblical prophecies are interpreted in various ways, and faith should not depend solely on political events or the appearance of certain characters. Throughout this video, we've explored how some people view Donald Trump as a figure fulfilling certain biblical expectations. From comparisons to King Cyrus to the idea that his relationship with Israel could have prophetic implications, it's clear that his presence in world politics has sparked interesting interpretations and beliefs among certain religious sectors. However, it's important to remember that the Bible, like any sacred text, has a deeper message that goes beyond political events and current figures. Its teachings invite us to reflect on our relationship with God, with others, and with ourselves, encouraging us to seek peace, justice, and love. So, regardless of what we believe about current political figures and their possible role in a divine plan, the most important thing is to maintain our values and work towards building a better world for everyone. Perhaps the true divine plan isn't in the hands of a single person but lies in the collective effort of all those who seek a future of peace and hope. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more content on biblical topics, prophecies, and historical figures. See you in the next episode.